So, if you've been listening to us for a while, you've been hearing us talking about law of attraction, and you've been hearing us talking about launching these rockets, and we've been telling you that you've been sending out a vibrational version of what you want, and that the source within you is standing in this vibrational reality. We've given it the name the vortex. In fact, we wrote an entire book about the vortex because we wanted to get your attention upon this vibrational reality that you have created that really is who you are, this vibrational version of you to which you want to achieve vibrational alignment. We so want you to know about that vibrational reality, because we also want you to know that anything short of being a vibrational match to that vibrational reality, where source stands, where you have evolved to, anything short of that is a diminishment of your moment and doesn't have to be. You get to have all that you've asked for. You just have to figure out how to vibrationally do that. So then we began explaining to you that while there is this vibrational version of you of all that you want, that when and only when you find vibrational alignment with that vibrational version, for example, if you've been asking for more money and you feel shortage today, maybe even afraid because a big bill came and you can't pay it, that feeling in your gut that you would describe as fear or uneasiness or disappointment, that feeling is your indicator that you're not up to speed with the money that's in your vibrational reality. The money that's in your vortex still stands there ready to be realized by you. But the fear in your belly is your indicator that you're not up to speed with it, and so it can't cross into your experience. It can't become realized by you. Now, creation is just about that. We want you to understand that all creation is about vibrational alignment. Vibrational alignment. So, did you hear us talking about the vortex? Did you read the book? Did you get the sense of the vortex? We were talking about that vortex for a couple of years, nonstop. So now we want to say to you that every thought that you offer, whether it's something wanted or not wanted, creates a vibrational version of it that in the beginning does not have enough momentum to actualize into your experience. So if you're saying things like, air travel is hard. Air travel is hard. And you just realized it today because today it was hard. There's not much momentum in that. And so while it's a vibrational reality that you have just added momentum to because of something that you observed, there's not enough momentum to really be a big part of your life experience. But if every time you fly you say it, and every chance you get you tell someone else about it, and you begin gathering hard air travel stories from others, you begin to get some momentum going about that, and you, without meaning to, create a vibrational reality that, depending upon what you're doing with your point of attraction, you will realize. So, are you getting the sense of this? You've launched a lot of rockets of wanted and unwanted, and some of them have more momentum than others. But how they show up in your experience, how often they come, how steadily they're there, and how they feel when they get there, is all about the momentum, which is all about the air time. It's all about the think time. It's all about the talk time. It's all about the attention time. Biggest word, it's all about the focus that you have been giving to them, you see. So that's why we now want to talk to you about your point of attraction, because you have laid the pathways to all kinds of things, wanted and unwanted. The question is, which of those pipelines is wide open and delivering a lot of payload to you, and which of those pipelines is closed and not giving you anything? Have you got the pipeline open to miserable air travel? You know if you do. They lose your bags every time. Do you have the pipeline open to meeting wonderful people everywhere you go? You know, because you meet wonderful people everywhere you go. Do you have the pipeline open to all the money that you can think of spending? Or have you got the pipeline open to not enough money? Which of your pipelines is open, you see? That's really what we want to talk about. What's active in your vibration? So we began talking about this point of attraction, reaching for different things to call it. For a while we called it the grid. No one really liked that word, the grid. But the grid, The grid is sort of a framework that will be filled in later with the details that you will call real life reality. It's sort of like the frame of the house before you put the roof on, before you put the walls up, before you put the pretty stuff in it. So your point of attraction, you're standing in your point of attraction all the time. Now we've evolved this analogy to say to you that this grid is spinning because your point of attraction is gathering cooperative components, meaning gathering the components that equal who you are, and that there is a vibrational spinning grid that you could liken to the emotions on your emotional scale. In other words, there's that high-flying grid that feels like love and passion, eagerness. And there's that low-flying grid that feels like despair, grief, fear. And then there's the overwhelming grid. It occurred to Esther the other day that it's like the 7 dwarfs. There's happy and grumpy, dysfunctional, passive-aggressive. We're up to about 200 dwarfs now. But you know which grid you are. You know where you are. If ornery people seem to be everywhere you go, you just kind of got to admit that you're on the ornery disc. And you're having the ornery meeting with those others who have gathered there. And so, getting back to something that we were saying earlier today about you looking for the validation from others. If you're on the overwhelmed or the ornery disc, and your partner, someone you care about, your 2-year-old, your friend, is on the high-flying disc, for you to have a meaningful conversation, one of two things has to happen. Either you have to join them on their disc or they have to join you on yours. And as you've been moving around this physical world, who's ever got the most momentum going is the one who gets to dictate where the rendezvous takes place. Some of you have become smart enough to just walk away. You can feel you're being sucked to a place you don't want to go, and so you say, be right back, and then you don't come back. Gotta go, talk to you in a little bit. Whoosh, off you go. But if you're the one on the ornery disc, you're digging in, aren't you? You're digging in with more information because it seems to feel important that someone join you. And we just want to say to you that really you want to join that high-flying source energy part of you. That's really what you're looking for. You're looking for that alignment. You're looking for the resonance of clarity. You're looking for the resonance of knowing. You're looking for the resonance of fun and good timing and agility and flexibility. You're looking for all of that. And you find that, you realize that from the high-flying disc. So we're going to be talking here today about what you've got going on. You've got some habits of thought that aren't serving you. You've got some habits of thought that are serving you. You've got some dormant beliefs that don't affect you very often, but every now and again, one of them is activated by something you see or something that you hear, and then it begins to affect you for a little while. And we really want to call your attention to this really important thing, and that is your point of attraction is now. It's right now. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It only matters what you're doing vibrationally now. And you can get so that what happened yesterday doesn't affect what you're offering vibrationally now, but you've got to understand just a handful of things, and we'll be talking about them all day here. You've got to understand that you are a vibrational being emanating a signal, and you've got to understand that your thoughts are the reason for that signal, what you focus upon, and you got to understand that the way you feel is an indication of how that blends with who you really are and what you really want. But most of all, we want you to leave this gathering knowing for sure that you can manage to have control over what disc you are on. So, we've been talking to you for years about how you create your own reality and how you create through the thoughts that you think. And we've watched you in various phases of you're coming to understand this and apply it to your experience. We watched you go through the phase of, I create my own reality. That's just the best news ever. Into the, I create my own reality. How in the world do I do that? Into the, cancel. Suck that thought back before the universe gets hold of it and brings me a manifestation. And we want you to understand that it isn't the controlling of your thoughts that we are wanting to inspire within you today, because that's really a hard thing. There's so many thoughts. What we want to inspire you to is an early and easy awakening to the high-flying disc. Before you leave this room today, we want you to feel as sure as we are about you that you have the ability to get on it and to maintain it mostly. We want to help you push the reset button. We want you to feel the power of your own point of attraction. We want you to feel the control that you have of your own point of attraction. And so we want to say something strong here. We are going to push this reset button today. It's our promise that you're going to get this because we know it so powerfully and you're willing to listen. And in the hours that we are together, you will find resonance with your point of power. But we want you to know that it only lasts a day, because tomorrow you have to get on that high-flying disc again. And the next day, you want to get on that high-flying disc again. And we want to say to you that you were born on it. How do I get on the high-flying disc? Well, you were born there. I know, but that was a long time ago. Now how do I get on it? Well, you have the potential of being on it every morning unless you remember something unpleasant from yesterday. In other words, when you wake up, what disc do you jump on? Oh, yeah, I got to go to work. Yeah. Going to be a lot of traffic today. Better hurry. Oh, it's going to be hot again today. Or maybe you wake up into a household full of confusion and you just want to pull the pillow over your head and not get up. We want you, before you go to bed or before you go to sleep, to pre-pave your morning and say to yourself, in the morning, I'm going to wake up on the high-flying disc and I'm going to acknowledge that I'm there and I'm going to milk it as best I can. Now, you might not make it till breakfast. You might not even make it till you get out of bed. Esther has begun saying, she's been doing this for about 6 weeks now. And after about day 20, it became really, really easy to do. And she began saying to herself, oh, I'm awake. A startling and profound announcement to herself. I'm awake. For a while she'd say, damn, I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake. Am I going to go back to sleep? Because sometimes she has the luxury of doing that. Or am I going to get up? Now, this was an important thing for her to acknowledge, because if she's going to go back to sleep, she doesn't want any thoughts to get going, except thoughts of slumber. But if she's going to get up, she wants to make sure that the thoughts that she's thinking are thoughts that will be valuable to her. She wants to make sure that they are high-flying thoughts. And so usually she begins with some strong statement of appreciation of something that's very easy for her to appreciate. It doesn't take much. It only takes 17 seconds in order to begin your day. You've been saying for a long time, or maybe they've been saying for a long time before you got here, or maybe none of you have ever said this before in your life. Getting out of bed on the right side, or getting off on the right foot. That's what we're really talking about. Establishing your vibrational point of attraction first. Because we want you to understand that if you choose it first, it's so easy to get that positive momentum going. But if you wait until you've, without meaning to, by default, picked up and carried over some negative momentum, then it's harder for you to shift from that negative momentum. We like the analogy. Esther remembers so vividly her first seeing of the streets of San Francisco. She could not believe it. Standing there in real life person at the top of that hill and realizing that cars actually drove down and up those hills. She couldn't believe it. She thought it was madness. Imagine your car's at the top of one of those hills. Your parking brake is off. Your car is out of gear. and just for fun, you decide to teach yourself a lesson about momentum.